Autocratic leaders often try to ban or strictly control expressions of joy. Notice that? Music, for example, books, plays, etc. Mae West wrote and starred in a play called Diamond Lil. Now, before Diamond Lil, West had several plays that were closed down, often because of city pressure from the city government or because of censorship from even higher authorities. But Diamond Lil was a hit. She was smart with this one. She placed it in the gay 90s, the 1890s, with long skirts and big hats. So it was the past, not the current society. And you couldn't see so much as an ankle in the whole cast. But the story was still risque, and the dialogue slipped into full tilt naughty. But it was harder to pin down as indecent. Meanwhile, concurrently with Diamond Lil, another play written by Mae West was playing in New York, and it was called The Drag. And yes, it was about a drag ball, a scandalo. Every night, the drag would get raided and shut down. And every night after Diamond Lil, Mae would go to the police station and bail out the cast of the drag. And they'd do it all again the next night. Now, it seems silly now, trying to limit, shut down, or demonize drag. Thank God that nonsense is over. Joy is freeing. I'm so excited that Latrice Royale is going to be here Saturday night. There's going to be joy in the room that night, with the flags and the singing and the storytelling. It's really a great show. Joy builds courage. Joy spawns creativity. Joy is its own spiritual experience. The Apostle Paul called joy as a fruit of the Spirit, a gift of the Spirit. Joy is a healer. I think it was Norman Cousins who said that he healed himself of crippling arthritis by just laughing hysterically nonstop. And even if it didn't work, you still had the joy of laughing hysterically nonstop. Joy is elevating, and it's difficult to keep down people who have been raised up by joy. It's easy to keep people down who you've already beaten down, but it's hard to keep people down who have been raised up. And joy raises us up. That's what the Sunshine Cathedral Center for Performing Arts is about. Our performing arts series is meant to offer joy. That's a lot of other things, of course. We like seeing a full parking lot, on those weekend nights. It brings in some revenue from ministry. I mean, there's a lot of good things about it, but its primary purpose, its primary ministry is to offer joy and a safe environment to experience joy and all the blessings joy offers. Now, we think our worship services are pretty joyful, and that's different from some of the worship services that maybe we came from in our past. A lot of worship is about conviction and condemnation and judgment and fear, and we just don't have time for any of that here. But still, when a lot of people hear Bible, Jesus, God, church, worship, prayer, those are trigger words for them because it reminds them of a time where religious experiences were not safe for them, maybe all out abusive. So some people we will never get to see, they'll never experience our joyful worship services because it's just too much of a risk. It just seems too scary. But they'll come to a comedy act. They'll come to a drag show. They'll come to an aerial circus, especially if they're nude. They'll come to hear a chamber orchestra. They'll come to hear a concert pianist. They will come to experience joy in a safe setting. And I want you to know that's church. That is church, where joy can heal them, where the Spirit can speak the language of comedy or the language of music or the language of beauty or the language of laughter to heal them. St. Francis said, preach the gospel at all times. When necessary, use words. Well, we have a lot of words in our worship service, but who cares if they aren't here to hear them or they're not joining us online to hear them? But they can hear the music, they can hear the laughter, they can hear the message of joy in our performing arts series, in a safe place to experience the blessing of joy. So when you support the Sunshine Cathedral Center for Performing Arts as a sponsor or as a patron or as someone who comes to the shows, someone who volunteers for the shows, you are helping the community spiritually by offering joy. And you're also doing the work of justice, because joy is resistance. How oppressive and autocratic powers try to keep you in line is by keeping you scared and keeping you sad and keeping you worried and keeping you down. And you can't be any of those things when you're applauding and laughing and rising to your feet and hugging each other and even sharing cathartic tears and a wonderful experience of a performance. Joy is resistance. They can't keep you down if you are filled up with joy. And that's why the autocrats want to limit it. But we are going to keep spreading joy, and your support makes joy possible. So please volunteer to work the shows, buy a ticket to a show, invite others to buy tickets to the show, buy a couple of tickets and give them as gifts, advertise the shows on your social media. If you have a business, talk to the Reverend Dr. Robert Griffin about becoming a sponsor of this series. Support this series because it is a very powerful ministry. Worship, food sharing, and the performing arts, and sharing all of it through broadcasting, those are our primary outreach right now. They're each important, and they each are bringing hope into people's lives. And your support of any or all of those is making a difference in our community. The success of our performing arts series is showing the world that there are different ways of being church, and there are different ways of resisting oppression. And the fuel for both the work of worship and the work of justice is joy. Amen.